So I think to preface it, I'll share a quick story about the mistakes we made that led us to seeing the value of this. So if you run a team, a real estate team, and you distribute any kind of leads to the team, I don't care if it's from ISAs or directly to the agents, whatever it might be, you've probably run into some of these challenges that I believe I've run into, and you have all these different ways you can distribute leads. All right, we've tried round robin, right? You get a lead or get an appointment from inside sales, and you just kind of go around, this person's next, this person's next. Problem with that is when I'm just going to make up Sally Sue, the agent, because we don't have a Sally Sue, but when Sally Sue is next in line, but she's at a cookout with her family, she is not the best person to take that lead. Or maybe she is not great at converting leads in this location or whatever it might be. So then we're like, okay, let's do first to claim, the hungriest agent, right? The most available, hungriest. And then Sally Sue, she's the quickest on her fingers. She grabs that lead, she sees it, it's Follow Up Boss routing tool. And, we saw Sally Sue like pile up leads and hoard leads, and everybody else was complaining because they didn't get the opportunities. And we started using ISAs, and we thought it was great for the ISAs to be able to just, hey, you pick who you think is best. Like, we're here to make money. This is a capitalistic business. So if you think this, well, then I started having agents come to me and say, hey, Sally Sue is friends with Bob the ISA. So that's why Sally Sue's getting all the leads, right?
Sounds super messy.
Yeah, very, very, very messy. And, it probably was some favoritism, to be honest, unknowingly. But even if it wasn't, what it caused was so many conversations of fairness, with our company, and how the leads were distributed. So fast forward, a little while, someone introduced me to the not as pretty version of Maverick a few years ago. And probably the thing that has changed our business the most is the lead distribution tool, now called Pro Dispatch. And I'm going to share my screen here. Let me know if you guys can see it. I'm just going to share how it solves these problems, how it works. Can everybody see my screen?
Yeah, you're good.
Cool. So this is the lead router form. So when our ISAs get an appointment, they put in an ID of a lead in Follow Up Boss. So I'm just going to take one, just kind of show you how it is. Copy and paste, put the lead into here, and you load the lead. Now, if there were data points for this lead, it would fill in some things, but there's not many data points. As you can see, the name of this lead is test. So there's not many data points, but it fills in a lot of the stuff. Then the ISA comes in and they start selecting these things. They select price points, ranges, the price point exact, the area, the locations, right? And then we can get, the time frame of this person, right? Specialty type. So when we say specialties, single family homes, new construction, land, first time home buyers, sellers, right? We see that as a specialty. So these are all configurations that are designed to help get the lead to the right person. Now, the genius behind this, I wish I could say I invented it. I did not, but it creates a list of agents, right? Let's just say there's 10 agents that would meet this criteria, and it sorts them based on their conversion rate, right? So basically, if you've done well with the ones we've given you, you're going to have an earlier crack at it. So that solves a lot of the problems, and it's reduced so many conversations of fairness and how do I get more leads and how come Sally Sue is friends with the ISA and they're just the fastest on their phone. Hey, if you want more leads, you got to convert the ones that you've got, right? Now we have a system in place to give agents some leads to get going, to get started, so it's not like they don't have a chance. And then you might think, okay, well, what if like the top agent, they're getting all the leads because they have the highest conversion rate? The other genius behind it is it caps them. The system will stop giving opportunities to somebody based on the capacities that you put into the routing tool. And just to touch on how it's different, and you guys that's on Zillow Flex, up until today of filming this, we can put in capacities for agents to receive leads. I can put 10, 20, but it means nothing to Zillow. Like the agent, if they're 10 capacity, they can keep grabbing 20 or 30. In this system, it's smart. It's going to cap that person. So if you think about it, like leads are being distributed and they're flowing down in this beautiful format, into the hands of the right person. And like I said, one of the biggest things that it reduces the conversations of unfairness or how do I get more opportunities or how do I get better opportunities? Now we have anybody that wants it, I'm happy to share. We have a lead SOP where we outline how you can get more. If your conversion rate is X, you can get more leads. If your conversion rate is X, we'll throttle your leads. How to earn higher price points, right? Because it's just like, I went to see the Red Sox play at Fenway last week. And, the batter that has the highest batting average, they're going to get the most cracks at it, right? That's why that guy's probably the first person batting, because there's a chance that he's going to get more shots in the game. He's earned it. He should do it. He's going to do best for the team. So you can earn more opportunities. You can earn better opportunities, but everybody does get a chance with the system that's in place. And so this is what the reporting tool looks like. There's a lot of data in here, but I'm just going to direct your eyes to the things that I would look at real quickly and I look at often. Okay. So the first one is the handout stats. So one of the things that it's shined a light on for us is who is actually available and fully invested into real estate, right? As we grow, we have about 85 agents, about 40 or so are taking leads. Like I'm not tracking on their phones, like where they are, like, what are you doing? Are you at the movies? Like that's really difficult to do. But I can see by looking at this, who's hungry, who's available, like who's ready to go, because I can say, hey, who has been offered a lot of leads? Okay, this agent has been offered 114 in 30 days. Now he's only taken 5. So then I would ask, like, why are you only taking 5 and you've been offered 114? And usually the answer is I'm busy selling real estate, which that's a good thing. So yeah, you shouldn't take leads. Or it could be I'm busy, grilling out every day or doing something that's not real estate related. Or they could be like, well, I'm not seeing the opportunities. And I'm like, well, they're right here. Here's the opportunities that we offered you. And I have this conversation so many times with agents, and usually only takes one of these sit downs. And I'm like, here are all the ones that we showed you. And you're saying we're not giving you the opportunities. But I'm thinking, are you near your phone? Are you available? Are you ready to take these leads? So I could go deeper into a lot of this stuff, but for time's sake, any thoughts?
No, this is fantastic. So one of the things that I thought was really interesting, if you have 3 agents, you don't have 20, you don't have 10, you have 3, right? And they know that when there's a hot lead, as broker owners, as team owners, there's moments where we get a referral and we're like, I'm too busy for this, or I don't want to mess with it, right?
Yep.
So like, I think you could use this tool, even if you don't have an ISA, instead of handing out based off of preference. But you talk to me about how, as an organization, something started to happen where they started to pay attention to their conversion numbers differently. Can you just share? We only got a couple minutes before we move to the next feature, but can you share what happened so guys, what are we doing right now? We're sharing with you a cool feature that solved a problem. And now what I want you to see is how it created momentum in his business and other areas after using this tool. So what happened from an organizational standpoint?
It's amazing. Probably a couple months after we launched this routing tool, and we've had it for a few years, we started to notice that the agents were much more cautious on grabbing leads, right? And that's kind of can be a problem in itself, but I want them to be. Like, I want people to think like, this is one I'm going to work. I had the time to work it. I want to work it. As opposed to before, it was just like, who could get as many and pile as many over in this corner without any regard of efficiency. So we used to celebrate how many deals you close, like just the overall deals. That doesn't necessarily equate to profitability. If you're a team leader, you have to think about efficiency, because you could have an agent that could close 100 deals, but they could be losing you money. And you could have another agent that closes 5 deals and you're making a lot of money off them.
Right.
So the agents started paying attention to their efficiency rate, and it made them nervous and cautious to take the leads. And they want to make sure that their conversion rate, which is right here.
What a fantastic thing to worry about.
Exactly.
Right. So listen, let me say this about this tool. For those of you that think like, I've only got 4 agents. I've only got 5 agents. If you're like me, when I get a hot lead or a referral, I've got someone that I typically am going to go to because I know when I hand them the client, eventually I'm going to make money. They're not going to screw it up, right? And so as a team leader, especially those of you that are still selling houses, you're still in production or a broker owner, you're just trying to solve problems all day, right? I guarantee you that there's an agent in the middle of your organization, not a top performer, not a bottom performer, somebody that if they were given the chance, they would crush it, right? And because we're doing what we've always done, we're giving our deals to that hot hand. You start to pay attention to that agent's conversion rate. And normally, while they close more than other agents on your team, which is ultimately what you care about, you start to see that their conversion rate is not that good because you're sending them everything, right?
Mhm. Yep.
What I think that this tool does, and Daniel already touched on one of them, which is everybody's obsessed with their conversion rate because the software is assigning the leads based off of your conversion rate. I think the other thing it does is it democratizes the opportunities in your organization. And it also shows you that more than likely you could hire more salespeople
Absolutely.
because you're handing out opportunities more efficiently. And
Mhm.
because you're handing them out more efficiently, you're seeing problems from a different light. And I mean, I'm just telling you, most of you are just paying attention to who's closing the most deals. And
Mhm.
I'm not saying not to pay attention to that. Okay. Like you need to pay attention to that. But if you do that to the detriment of the efficiency of the rest of the opportunities and the rest of the salespeople, you are leaving money on the table. And so by having Daniel's whole organization running off of this efficient process, it's really a great way to go. And if you have, for example, Ylopo, you have AI voice. You could just have an admin go through and find every AI voice discovery and start manually putting these in this Pro Dispatch tool, start assigning them out based on conversion numbers.
Yep.
And so that's honestly, I don't know about you, Daniel, like what would you say would be the big takeaway? Because for me, that's how I'm receiving this. What I just said is like
Sure.
personally, my big takeaway for the first feature.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, it's a great point. This works whether you have 2 people or 200 people, because there's always going to be someone who feels like they're being slighted. And
Right.
as a team leader, as a broker owner, you want to stay so far away from that. You want to stay
Yeah.
so far away from the appearance of favoritism. And it works because they know it is, a capitalistic system that if they know in the beginning how it works, how I earn more opportunities, and how I get a first crack at something, then your culture is so much better. So
Yeah.
yeah, it just helping us focus on the more important number, the efficiency rate, and then just tracking that has been a game changer for us, and it's changed our culture for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's amazing. And my team is intending on executing on this at a high level as well after listening to you talk about it actually the other day.